Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. Hope you and your family are doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be featuring several types of Persian Kelim rugs. These are handmade rugs that have been around for literally many centuries and that are also extremely popular with clients throughout the world. And as many of you have asked me about them and have also shared pictures of rugs that you may have, I thought I'd give you a little history of them and feature three different types of very popular, very common types of Persian tribal rugs. And in the process of doing so, also answer some of the questions that I have been getting from many of our viewers as well as clients to our website at mprugs.com. So in this video, it's all about three different types of the tribal as well as urban Kilim rugs. We have a Nimbaft, we have a Sirjan, we have an Ardabil. So if you enjoy all things about handmade carpets and like to know a little bit more about them, the people that make them, and really basically some general ideas and overviews, feel free to watch this video. As like I said, we're going to be exploring. It's all about the native, the tribal, urban, the Kelim rugs of Iran. And so to basically get started, what I did here for you is I chose three common types of, these are generally referred to as tribal Kelim rugs, but there is one of them which is the Ardabil, which is also known as the Verni. And these ones are actually made by the Azari people in northwestern Iran. And these are not really, I think they used to be tribal, at least that's what my dad used to say, because my mom is from that part of Iran. My dad was from central Iran, and my dad always said whenever my mom got mad at him, that's when her tribal side came out. But the Azari people, they're more urbanized nowadays. And so here you have a piece that I'm going to be featuring, give you guys some backgrounds and everything on later. Then we have in the back and behind me, we have a rare and just absolute gorgeous Nimbaft. This is from central Iran. And then over in the back, the greenish backgroundish piece, that's a Sirjan. But basically, to get started, if you were to look at a map of Iran, you will see that the tribal rugs, the Kelim rugs, I'm sorry, I keep saying tribal. That's actually not correct. I should be referring to them simply as Kelims. These are rugs that are made throughout, not just Iran, but in virtually every rug weaving cultures, whether it's Native American, whether it's African, Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, Asian. I mean, you'll have them made throughout the world. But when it comes to Iran, these are some of the most classic. The three most classic ones are the ones that are made in Ardabil. As you can see there on the map, they're also sometimes referred to as Verni. As I mentioned to you, northwestern Iran. Then you have the Nimbaft. And the Nimbaft are a little bit unique. I'm going to feature them and I'm going to do my best. I'm going to get behind the camera and actually focus in on them because they sometimes feature a mix of the traditional rugs where you have the pile, and then you also have the Kelims. And then also we have the Sirjan. The Sirjans are the Kelims. The difference is, just so you know, whereas the Ardabils are made by the Azeri people, the Nimbaft and the Sirjan are oftentimes closely associated with the Lura people. The These are the largest Bedouin tribal groups in Iran, South Central Iran, and they are oftentimes synonymous with the Nimbaft as well as the Sirjan rugs. And so to give it, what I did here was I picked out the three pieces because they are great representations of what the different types are. And like I said, I'm going to be featuring this large square piece because that's truly a unique piece. But to basically give you a little overview, and this is also what separates some of the kilims. On the Ardabil ones, you will notice when you look at the pictures and everything, you can see how it's shiny and it looks different. And the reason for that being is that the Ardabil, the vernice, these are all wool rugs. They're all cotton foundation. Sometimes they even have wool foundation. But what separates the Ardabils from the others is that the Ardabils are made with what is known as mercerized cotton, wool. Mercerized is the mercerization is a process where wool, cotton, and also wool, when it's treated, and it's a chemical process, I suppose, but it's from what I understand, and I have not physically seen it being done, but the basically goes into machines, and what comes out of it is a very strong but also shiny type of almost silk looking wool. And that is what is used to make these types of rugs. Like I said, they're oftentimes they're the Ardabil, they're the verni, very, very traditional pieces. But the mercerized wool, the shininess, and this is also what sometimes, for example, in the Pakistani, you'll see in the Bukhara rugs. This is also something that I get a lot of questions about. People oftentimes assume that they're silk rugs. They're not. It's just wool that's been treated, it's been processed in such a way that it gives a very shiny, very lusty look, but it's also very strong. So I just wanted to showcase one such example. And then, like I said, as you can see by the examples, when you look at traditional Kelim rugs, they are nowhere near as shiny as the Ardabils. And so really nice piece, but and this is something I'm going to do when I get behind the camera, as I oftentimes do in my videos, and I'll show you some of the close-ups and everything. And but I just want to basically give you some basic overviews. And with the Ardabils, you typically have the colors, the goldish color, the background. It's like a goldish yellowish with the shades of reds, very earth colored. These are very, very popular. And in the United States with my clients, oftentimes people, the folks who like these are also, they mentioned how similar they are sometimes to Native American carpets. And so, and you'll find that, and this is also something that I find fascinating, is that with the Kelim rugs, you can go just about anywhere in the world and you will notice similarities. I cannot tell you why Native American, Middle Eastern, African, Far Eastern Asia, how regions, cultures, and people, how they have woven Kelim rugs, but they all seem to be featuring geometric designs. I find that absolutely fascinating, that people that have really no connection with each other, they seem to think alike. And so I think it's absolutely beautiful and everything. So here you have the Ardabils. Then you have the Sirjan and the Nimbaft. And these are made by the Lur people. And so what I did was I chose two people. What I have learned is that depending on who you talk to. Sometimes people will interchange them. But as a rule, and this is how I have been taught by my family and friends in the rug trade, is that the Sirjans are purely Kelim. If a rug, like in this case right here, we have the greenish piece and everything, if it is all completely made like a Kelim, then it's referred to as a Sirjan. And it is oftentimes, like I said, they come out of the Kirman province and everything. But if the rug has also parts in it where there is a wool, which gives it a relief look and feel, it's like almost three-dimensional, then they are referred to as Nimbaft. Now, the Nimbaft region and the Sirjan weaving region are two different regions of Iran, as you can see on the map. There's quite a bit of distance between them. But these are made by the same type of people. These are the Lur people, the tribal Bedouins who have been making these types of rugs for centuries. And these, unlike the Ardabils, are made with completely vegetable dyes. These are untreated, basically. And also, everything in this rug is 100% basically natural. And that's what a lot of folks, they like. When I've learned that there are a lot of my clients, a lot of folks who also watch the channel and they enjoy it, they are into the history, the culture and everything. So this is something that fascinates you and you enjoy the heritage, the culture of the weaving and everything. A lot of folks, this is what they're geared to, because this is what you're looking at. You're looking at a rug that is, these are new rugs, but they have been made in the same mannerism as rugs that are literally made. That's how it's been done for centuries. So, but it's really fascinating. What's also about these is because these are all made with vegetable dyes and everything, there's not a huge variety when it comes to colors and everything. And you can see some of the shading, how things, with the vegetable dyes, what I'm trying to say is that the patina kicks in a lot sooner than with regular dyes, with the commercial dyes. And so even though these are new pieces, if you were to come back 30, 40 years from now and look at these two pieces, you will know that they will have already started to alter a little bit in terms of the colors and everything, the shading. But great examples. And so what I thought I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to the three pieces. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get behind the camera real quick, show you some of the features of each of the pieces. I can show you with the pictures and everything, but it's oftentimes a lot easier for me just to show it to you in person. And I'm going to get behind the camera here since I'm doing all of this by myself. But before I do, I always like to, in the middle of the videos, like to point out to you that if you have questions, and this is something that I get almost on a daily basis now, it's normal for me to get folks emailing me questions about rugs that they have or that they're looking at. So if you want some basic quick information about a rug that you may have or just need some insights, there is a link to a video that I have made below in the description. In the video, I show you what type of pictures I need and basically give you some basic ideas for what I need. Email them to me and I can certainly take a look at what you have and get back to you. Also, if you are passionate about Persian rugs or handmade rugs in general, feel free to subscribe to our channel. Like I said, there's a lot more information below in the description, as well as on our website at mprugs.com. So if you see something and you want to see the close-up pictures and all that stuff, if you want to see different types, feel free to check us out. And so I'm going to go behind the camera now. I'm going to come back to you later afterwards and say my quick goodbye. So I'm going to see you again here in just a second. So here I am, this time from behind the camera, and I'm just going to start actually with the Ardabil. As you saw in the pictures earlier, unlike the regular Kilims, I'm just going to hold this up. The Ardabils are really known for the shininess and almost like they are the counter opposite of what a Kilim is. Because as you can see here, the Kilims are renowned for their natural looks and everything. So when you look at a Ardabil or the vernice, you'll notice they are completely almost opposite, whereas the older Kilims, the old design of the Kilims make them want to basically, they give it earthy colors, very warm feeling, and then you have these guys who are just the Ardabils, sometimes almost like screaming for attention, but really nice pieces. But what is also unique about them, and this is, you can see the way that they're woven when you look on the back. This is how the stitching is done. The Kilims are not made with what is known as a weave. It's almost more like a stitching. This is also one of the reasons why their life expectancy is nowhere near as long as in handmade, in the real Persian rugs with the Turkish or Persian knots and the pile and everything. The good news about them is that they're also not as expensive. You can get these types of rugs for a fraction of the cost of what a normal classic Persian rug is all about. And a lot of the folks, so there's oftentimes they say, well, a Kilim is not a rug is not a Kilim. These are handmade, they are woven, but they're just woven in a very different type of style. So there is the Ardabil. Now I'm going to be looking at, just real quick, I want to point out here is the Sirjan, and as you can see here, also a different type of weave. Now the Sirjans now oftentimes they incorporate more of a knot, the Persian knots. So when people oftentimes ask me about qualities of the Kilims, I always tell people, the Ardabils are nice and everything, but when it comes to, if I had to rank the qualities, it would be Ardabil, Sirjan, and then at the top will be Nimbaft. And with the Sirjan, as I mentioned to you, you can tell, I mean, these are really nicely woven and everything, and it's a really tight weave. It's much sturdier than you would have in the Ardabil pieces. And then you finally have the Nimbaft. And I'm just going to actually put this piece aside because this Nimbaft, this is such a classic piece. It's also rare to find them in the square size. So here you have a square piece. This is basically 2 meters square, about 6.5 foot to 7 feet. But what is unique about the Nimbaft is that not only are they the highest quality of the Kilims, but they have, and this is where, let's see, I'm just going to hold the camera. You can see the pile. You notice all this is right here. This is all pile. And then you'll see the pile again. If you look at it from an angle, you can see it right there. This is all wool. So you have a mix of a Kilim rug and it has wool. It makes it very, very difficult to weave. And it's also absolutely exceptional artwork. This is not something that you typically find. It's like the best of both worlds. And these are exceptional pieces. As I said, if you are into Persian rugs, If you were to ask me of the three types, obviously I'm going to be pointing my fingers at the Nimbaft and just point out the fact that these are incredibly rare and absolutely beautiful pieces. And yes, they are designed to be walked on. They are designed to be used. Now, the difference between the three pieces is that the Ardabils are oftentimes also used as decor. People throw them on furniture and everything. It's almost like blankets type things. But when it comes to actual rugs and everything, I always tell people this is more like a decor rug. This is the Sirjans are like the mix, the in between a decor rug and a traditional rug. If you have heavy furniture and you're going to have traffic and everything, the Nimbaft, not a problem. The Ardabils, yeah, it's okay. But you're not paying for it. On the Nimbaft, you are paying a good amount. This is just like the traditional Persian rugs and absolutely beautiful. The quality, the workmanship, everything is just absolutely fantastic on these types of rugs. Being that obviously we're passionate about our Persian rugs, and this is about as good as it gets. And so I hope this added information was of help to you. So for all of you out there who, like me, enjoyed the Kelim, so now I'm just going to come back to you real quick and say my goodbyes. So there was our video about the Kelim rugs of Persia. I hope you enjoyed this video. It might have been some help to you for those of you that have been asking me questions about them. As always, I wish you and your family the very best. I'm going to be coming back to you with many more videos as time goes on. As often as I mentioned before, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Subscribe or like us if you want to. I'm going to be seeing you again soon. In the meantime, wishing you all the best. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.